that will mean liberation is close. So the first verse says, having developed enthusiasm in this way, I should place my mind in concentration, for the man whose mind is distracted dwells between the fangs of disturbing conceptions, which is a great image. I can just see yourself in the mouth of Mara ready to chomp down. So those are the disturbing emotions, and that's kind of what it means, is that now we've got the enthusiasm to push us into meditation, and we need to meditate, concentrate, to rid your mind of these emotional turmoils so that you can move on. I hope I didn't miss anything.
Okay, great, Mary. Thank you. Okay, so then everyone okay, right? Verses first, great. So verses the second, Maryland. Can you hear? You are mute, Maryland. You are mute, Maryland.
I can't see the screen. My computer's frozen. Am I there?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know where it went, but I'll read it. Having developed enthusiasm in this way, I should place my mind in concentration.
No, number 2, Marilyn. You're doing one.
Sorry. But through solitude of body and mind, no distraction will occur. Therefore, I should forsake the worldly life and completely discard distorted conceptions. So basically he's saying, look for a quiet place to practice, especially for beginners. An advanced practitioner would look for a place with more disturbing things going on. But for us beginners, we need to look for a quiet place so that we can work on our getting rid of our conceptual thoughts and controlling our emotions. It was easy, yeah. And then you talked about the Buddha being enlightened in a previous life and how he came back to share the teachings.
Yes, good. Thank you, Marilyn.
Okay, sorry for being late.
Oh, no, you did good. Thanks. So next, Debbie.
Dạ hả? Ồ, vậy hả? Vậy hả?
Debbie.
Debbie. Oh, okay.
Debbie A or Debbie B?
Only one Debbie I can see here. Oh, 2.
Yeah, Debbie Connor's there.
Oh, Debbie Connor. So
yeah.
B go first, then Debbie A second.
Okay, I think I'm B. Okay. Worldly life is not forsaken because of attachment to people and due to craving for material gain and the like. Therefore, I should entirely forsake these things, for this is the way in which the wise behave. So this was more explanation of number 2. And the main point was that attachment is hard to let go of in our worldly life. And if you can't do this, then you can't gain enlightenment. And meditation is the wisdom, that's the antidote to attachment. And so to give up attachment and gain enlightenment, we must practice meditation, because the cause is attachment and the method is meditation or wisdom. So that was the main point.
Thank you, Debbie. Okay, so Debbie A, verses 4.
Okay, having understood that disturbing conceptions are completely overcome by superior insight endowed with calm abiding. First of all, I should search for calm abiding. This is achieved through the genuine joy of these unattached to worldly life. And you had said that this is an important verse and is often quoted and talked about. So, Shinhan meditation, calm abiding meditation, is, I guess, necessary to destroy your emotions, walk away from your emotions, and master your own mind. And you are not going to be able to achieve enlightenment, or you're not going to be able to achieve happiness, temporary happiness or permanent happiness, without learning to tame and control your mind. This is, yeah, it's crucial to abandoning attachment. It's, I actually find it interesting that he first, starts with meditation, is leading up, not with describing meditation, but leading up with everything that came before, so that you have this complete understanding of what it is going to take to do real meditation and have it really change your life. So I'm glad I got this verse. Permanent joy, not just temporary happiness. This is the only way you're going to do it.
Yes, thank you, Debbie. Okay, everyone good, yeah? Second.
Khenpo, I just wondered if instead of genuine joy of these, it should be those, meaning those people unattached to worldly life. I wondered if it was a typo.
This
I
is
think, yeah, looks like.
this achieved through the genuine joy of this attached to the worldly life. So you mean
If
that
it said I thought that instead of saying these, if it said those, it would refer to the people who were achieving the genuine joy, not. So I think it's a typo. It should have an O, I think.
I don't know English, so which is a better way to say? You know, maybe.
That was my thought. Did anybody have another thought? I don't know.
Mary, I have a copy of the
I
book
think you're right.
itself. So which verse are we looking at?
4.
Verses 4.
Yeah, I got here a little late today. So
It's the last line.
okay, this is achieved through the genuine joy of those unattached to worldly life.
Right.
Those. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's typed these here, but I think it's those.
No, it's those.
I just
I
brought
have
it.
the original book, first edition.
Okay.
This copy looks like it was scanned in and it used computer recognition of text. And so it looks like it's just got a lot of small errors.
Yeah. Well, at least I have the book. It was my mother's book, so that's good.
Nice.
She's helping us.
Thank you.
Okay. So that's first of all, I should search for Khenpo abiding. This achieve means like Khenpo abiding achieve, right? Khenpo abiding meditation achieved through the genuine joy of this attached to worldly life. So this is the referring to the Khenpo abiding, yeah? Right, Mary?
This refers to it, right?
Yes, that is right. That's the way I'm reading it. Because those people who are not attached to worldly life, because they have reached the genuine joy through calm abiding, right?
So
They get calm abiding, and then that produces genuine joy in those
first
people.
of all, I should search for Khenpo abiding. So first we have to practice Khenpo abiding meditation. We have to, everyone, practitioners meditate Khenpo abiding. Komo-embodying meditation achieved through the genuine joy of this unattachment worldly life.
Right.
Okay.
Got it.
Got it. Okay, I think okay. Yeah. So then we go to verses 5. Okay, where is David? David, I heard your names. So go to verses 5.
Okay.
David, you are verses 5. Verses 6 is Avura.
Okay. 5. Because of the obsession one transient beings have for other transient beings, he will not see his beloved one again for many thousands of life. Yeah, what you mentioned this morning was to reduce the attachment to family, relative, or beings, that we have to recognize that these attachments are impermanent, because everything going to change, and relative and family, because it's impermanence, and it's not good to attach to that. Our life go to samsara. We attach to these things. Our life, we're going to be in samsara and the lower realms. We don't going to get out of samsara. I mean that to be attached to low ones or don't recognize this impermanence, it will create the cause of suffering to us, not the cause of happiness.
Yes.
Okay, Khenpo.
Thank you, David.
No problem.
Yeah, it's attached to the loved ones, so then that creates causes suffering, right? Actually, the loved ones we are attached to both are impermanent, but actually attached is not really happening for each other anything. So attachment bring the lower realms, and then you don't see your loved ones in many lifetimes. Okay, Aura.
Number 6.
Yeah.
Not seeing them, I am unhappy, and my mind cannot be settled in equipoise. Even if I see them, there is no satisfaction, and as before, I am tormented by craving. This is, I think, another example of how attachment doesn't help anything. We miss people and things when we don't have them, and then when we have them, or when we are, for example, with family, with friends, we sometimes fight and get angry for silly things. And still we are with them, but we are not satisfied, never. We are always craving a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. So I guess that's why we have to let go of attachment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, that
Rating.
it's really good words, right? Means like good instruction. So all these worldly people has this problem. When we don't see our loved ones, no happy. When you see them, it's no satisfied, and also then not really joy, actually happy, and disagree each other, right? Fighting. So follow that way, life is going to finish. Okay, so now we go to verses 7. Sandra, please, verses 7.
Through being attached to living beings, I am completely obscured from the perfect reality. My disillusion with cyclic existence perishes, and in the end, I am tortured by sorrow. So I have notes that say, our attachment is an obstacle that blocks our wisdom, and it blocks our perception of reality. And so we need the basic teachings, like the 4 thoughts that turn the mind. And those teachings, like even the benefit of those teachings kind of wears off because of attachment. and then we're tortured by sorrow. So we have to keep kind of reminding ourselves about the four thoughts to stay on the path. And if we follow our feelings, the feelings change and we'll go back to worldly things easily. So we have to, stick with the basics to help us strengthen our determination to practice Dharma.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sandra. So everyone good, right? 7? Okay, so no, 7 is also really good for we recognize we lose easily our enthusiasm for practice Dharma. We lose devotions. We lose effort. Many things happening. The reason is because due to attachment for samsara. Okay, so now we go to 8. EDG number 8.
Okay. By thinking only of them, this life will pass without any meaning. Furthermore, impermanent friends and relatives will even destroy the Dharma, which leads to permanent liberation. So we're talking about them, we're talking about the worldly beings that we are attached to. If we continue our attachment to them, we'll go through this life without, this life will serve no meaning, no purpose. The strong attachment will, in focusing on the friends, relatives, and so forth, will even turn you against the Dharma because you don't have time for it. And that is the path to liberation. So focusing on something other than the Dharma, this life becomes meaningless.
Thank you, EDG. Good. Yeah, so much focus for the friends and families, then that destroyed our permanent causes of permanent Dharma. Okay, so now we go to next one, 9, verses 9. Verses 9 is Liza.
If I behave in the same way as the childish, I shall certainly proceed to lower realms. And if I am led there by those unequal to the noble ones, what is the use of entrusting myself to the childish? So there's no wisdom in following the childish and the temporary happiness. So you really have to question what is the usefulness of worldly life, and or following people who only think about the worldly life. Since beginning this time until now, we have acted like that. And if we continue acting like that, we'll lose the Bodhisattva path. And now we have a chance to really be on the Bodhisattva's path. So that would be very foolish, and it's of no benefit. So we want to give up attachment to worldly beings and the childish who don't seek wisdom.
Thank you, Lisa. Okay, so now everyone okay, right? Number 10.
I just had a quick question. So is this, Khenpo, are these our habitual patterns of attachment that we've created lifetime after lifetime that keeps us, sometimes going more to the childish without the wisdom rather than choosing the wisdom? Is that where that comes from, the root of it?
Yes. Due to ignorance, right? Ignorance, attachment, our samsaric karmic imprints. So that's why I kept going not easy to recognize. Okay, so now next is then 10 is Evia. Can you do the number 10?
Sure. One moment they are friends, and the next instant they become enemies. Since they become angry even in joyful situations, it is difficult to please ordinary people. Well, I wasn't here this morning, unfortunately, but I can attest to this for sure.
Sure, you can.
On a regular basis, at work especially.
Oh.
And I guess what it is just, you know, people can easily get overwhelmed by the afflictive emotions. And I think when that happens, they don't have any common sense. It's really difficult to have sense, and it's easy to become hateful towards each other, or you know, angry, even if it's a good time, especially if the afflictive emotion is very strong, or there's a strong pattern of an afflictive emotion, even in a joyful situation. If you're not a practitioner, it's really easy to just get taken by that pattern or by that afflictive emotion.
Yes. Okay. So number 10, everyone okay, yeah? You think this number 10 is great? True, right? True. I mean, makes sense for us, right? So our this childish, like afflictive emotional beings, easily friend, easily enemies. So, okay, they are really easy to angry, difficult to please ordinary people. Then go to number 11. Number 11, Thomas, can you do the number 11, please?
Yes, Khenpo. They are angry when sometimes benefit is said, and they also turn me away from what is beneficial. If I do not listen to what they say, they become angry and hence proceed to lower realms. Oh boy, isn't that the truth? Yes, yes. They always, you know, people want to hear what they want to hear. You know, you can tell them you know, not to be so attached to worldly obsessions, but they don't want to hear that. You know, they only want to hear things that are coming of praise or something that they've done well. But you know, they get angry. Friends get angry, and if they're told to do something to benefit, they shun you away. At the same time, and they turn to me away from what is beneficial. Yes, and at the same time, they take you to the cause of suffering, a lot of suffering, because you're trying to satisfy them, you're trying to please them, and all that's doing is causing you suffering. And also that they just want you to listen to them, and by doing so, that will cause you to go to the lower realm, because it's you know, it's trying to during the teachings you say you can't please everybody. It's impossible. It's impossible to please everybody. And trying to do so will just create so much negative karma for ourselves.
Thank you, Thomas.
You're welcome.
Everyone okay, yeah? Okay, so next, Amanda, can you do the 12?
They are envious of superiors, competitive with equals, arrogant towards inferiors, conceited when praised, and if anything unpleasant is said, they become angry. Never is any benefit derived from the childish. So we have this experience because we have emotions. We're jealous to our superiors. We're competitive with our equals. And as long as we have emotions, then the cause is there. So the main point is to give up attachment to friends and relatives. More wisdom arises for us as we listen to the teachings. Then we have less attachment and desire, and we know how to take care of our family and friends. When families are attached to each other, they create the causes of suffering for each other. but we can really love our families and not create the causes of suffering in this life and future lives with unconditional, altruistic equanimity, love, and compassion.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you.
Okay, so everyone okay? That's it. Okay, then go to 13. 13 is Tom Wazini. Can you do the 13, please?
Yes. Through associating with the childish, there will certainly ensure unwholesomeness, such as praising myself and belittling others and discussing the joys of cyclic existence. So yeah, associating with the childish, there are people who are trying to find happiness in all the wrong ways, generally. And since the mind is like a sponge, if you associate with people in that situation, you'll probably start to become like them with little self-control, and you'll end up discussing very temporary pleasures of cyclic existence, which are fleeting at best.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, everyone okay? That's right. 12, 13, I mean.
There was one word in the text on the second line. I think you read it was ensure. I have ensue, ENSUE, or there will certainly ensue unwholesomeness.
In short, is you mean the ensue?
Ensue, yeah, that's the in my text. So it must be another typo.
So which is good?
Well, this is the original book. I don't know. This is the translation by Stephen. That's what he used. That's the word he used.
I think it makes more sense, and Sue, through associating with the childish, this produces unwholesomeness. That makes more sense to me.
Curtis had typed that in the chat this morning. That was his guess.
Good.
I agree. Yeah.
I see, ensue. Okay, so then which is pick up better, you pick up that one, okay? Most important is we have to understand the meaning. Which words make sense for you, that's great. Okay, so that just main point is if we follow the worldly people, then just always like talk about worldly things. Create that pattern or habituate is become strong and strong. So not possible to liberation. All sorts of negativity. Then we go to page 14. Page 14, Jerti, G-I-L-T, Jerti, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, 14. Developing myself to others in this way will bring about nothing but misfortune, because they will not benefit me, and I shall not benefit them. So if I'm developing myself, spending my energies, taking all the force of what I have to bring to the world, and engaging with others who are childish and attached to worldly things and caught up in samsara existence, it will bring nothing but misfortune. I will not benefit them, and I certainly won't benefit myself. It will stand in the way of my liberation. It will be the opposite of calm abiding.
Thank you, Jet.
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone great there, right? So now next, Alita, can you do the 50?
Yes, Khenpo. I should flee far away from childish people. When they are encountered, though, I should please them by being happy. I should behave well merely out of courtesy, but not become greatly familiar. So I wasn't here this morning, but I think what is being said here is that you don't want to judge childish people. So I should please them by being happy. Um, don't get too entangled. Don't get too caught up with childish people and all their emotions and all their projections, because it will just lead you down into samsara. So stay away, flee away from the childish people and all their afflictive emotions. But when they are encountered, you can just stay in your own calm abiding and be happy, so that they might feel some of that happiness. But if you engage with them, then you lose your own happiness and you don't benefit them. So yeah, don't get too familiar with the afflictive emotions.
Okay. So we cannot make too friendly with the childish people, right?
Yeah.
Just when you see them, just don't make angry them. Don't too much make friendly attached to them. Just same is like beads, like, oh, that's coming down there. Okay, so now we go to next one. Gail, can you do the next one, Gail, Percy? 16.
16. In the same way as a bee takes honey from a flower, I should take merely what is necessary for the practice of Dharma, but remain unfamiliar as though I have never seen them before. 13. What does it mean, as though I had never seen them? What is them in this one? Is it the bee and the flower?
Oh, no, it's this childish people.
Oh, the childish people. Okay, great. In the same way as a bee takes honey from a flower, I should merely use, I should be very discriminating in selecting what is the most important aspect of practice. Guess the practice of Dharma.
Yeah, then followed by same is just 15, 16, they're all just a kind of linked together.
16, yeah, 16 is a little harder to just the way it's written. But remain unfamiliar as I've never seen them before. Just keep your distance from these childish people. Is that what it's saying?
Yes.
Yeah, just don't get too cozy with them, and don't be distracted. All of these are about just don't be distracted from the really essential practice of Dharma and getting out of samsara for good and making everyone enlightened.
You see the people on the road, no need to talk much, just say hi, then go away. Just use smiling and okay.
Don't waste your time. Do not waste your time. Just do your Dharma practice.
Wasting time, and then don't talk childish there together, other chatter, right? And
What about the line that says, take what is necessary? Only what is necessary. That says there is something necessary.
Yeah, take the necessary is like, what is like kind of a benefit for something spiritual. Like example, even you teacher, so like receive teaching and then you have to go away to like practice yourself. Better don't stay all the time together. So otherwise then you see the like, oh, wrong things, negativity, and then going to talk about that, criticize each other, it's lose faith and the devotion, so like kind of This become get problem. If too much, is in the together is not good. So main point is. So then you see more negativity. So that's it become. That's why you just take the what you need. Same is like you go to see the doctor, you take the medicine, then go away. Okay.
Well, what that kind of said to me is in many situations there's something you can probably learn or understand. You don't have to let it affect you emotionally, but there's stuff you may learn by just being there, and then take that little piece of information and home and work on it.
Yeah, this B information, this is like same in the same way as the B. So it's they have lots, that explain about the bee. So bee take the honey from the flower, but flower bee doesn't, destroy flower. And when he take the honey from the flower, but flower doesn't get any affected. So that means like you don't harm anyone. Even you know whatever you get, you need to get from others. So really, take advantage from someone's. So no anyone other one loser. Nothing is you are winner. So that way you have to get things from others. Okay, so then also the same is like bee get honey from the flower, so receive teaching from the others, then you don't stay all the time there, the main point too. The honey is the same as the Dharma, benefits, practice of Dharma. Okay, so then we go to verses 17. 17. So no worries. Who's there next? Everyone get or no? We have to go back to Mary or not yet? I called everyone yet? Okay, so I think usually who do the explain they are called everyone ready. So Mary, you ready?
Okay. I have much material wealth as well as honor, and many people like me. Nurturing self-importance in this way, I shall be made terrified after death. So this refers, I think, to let's see, where was it? Here it is. None of these things that you are naming, wealth, honor, being popular with people, thinking you're the cat's meow, is not going with you when you die. And those are simply obstacles to your own liberation, and it won't benefit you at all. So these are the wrong things to seek after. I think that's the point that he was going for here.
Yeah, thank you. Anyone has a question? 17, everyone okay? Great. So then we go to 18, Marilyn.
Okay.
Careful, behind there you get a stick.
Yeah.
Like correctly.
Be kind. So you thoroughly it must be so through your thoroughly confused mind, by the piling up of whatever objects you are attached to, misery 1,000-fold will ensure. So because we're deluded, we've got lots of attachments, and the more attachments we have, the more suffering we'll have. We have a lot of suffering because of our attachments.
Okay, finish.
Yeah, the stick hasn't come down yet.
Okay. So if we see the attachment problems, still we attaches, then it's our mind is something wrong, right?
Yeah, we need to see our attachment and try and work with it and eliminate the attachments we have. That takes a lot of work.
Right. Okay, so now then we go to 18. Everyone okay, that one? So actually not that hard, right? Tonight is easy, all these words. Tomorrow is go more harder, I think. Then go more harder, then we really get a headache. So now we go to 19. DB 19.
Hence, the wise should not be attached, because fear is born from attachment. With a firm mind, understand well that it is the nature of these things to be discarded. And so the main point was, those who have wisdom and knowledge should not attach. And when we attach to that, we don't want fears. So those who are understanding, then their mind is very stable, and then they don't develop fears. And then desire and attachment cause these fears. And wise people would really understand this. So those who have wisdom would really understand in this way, that with a stable mind, that then we will, and not developing attachment, then fear will not happen. And that will cause us to be able to progress on the path.
Thank you. Thank you, David B. Everyone good, yeah? David A, then 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
These two are really important and very powerful. I'm still thinking about that. Fear is born from attachment. Although I may have much material wealth, be famous and well spoken of, whatever fame and renown I have amassed has no power to accompany after death. So as you're, the image of piling up, all these things you're distracted by. Every time we're distracted by samsara, we're getting I think our mind panics a little bit, because you really know that you're not paying attention to the right things. And so I think this chapter, I think this verse is a good way of working out, what that fear is. If, I just focus on this world and things that seem important to this world, I'm alienating myself. So that when I die, I have no preparation. Everything I care about is here. My mind just focuses on here. And when you die, none of this is going to come with you. So everything you cared about is just magically gone as soon as you die. I think it's a pretty powerful way of thinking about that. So thanks.
Thank you, David. Yeah, so when the dreaming, sometimes we get so much and kind of we are king. Then when wake up, it's always gone. Same like that, yeah. Sometimes your dreaming has like created all your loved ones, everyone is there, but wake up, it's only yourself in there.
It also warns that lots of praise increases ego clinging.
Right.
So it solidifies the ego, and it's really hard to get off your throne,
Yeah, so there's or it's a like focus for more beginner practitioners. And the first, like when you go into the meditative practice, you have to really shut down all this worldly attachment, desire things. Otherwise, going to meditation practice is not really going to successful. So that's why the Shantideva just main point is like shut down all this worldly activity, going to the meditate. So that's the he giving the more this all suggestion and the informations. As long as we are attached to our worldly activity, these things, then the not possible to going to success for our Khenpo embodied meditation. So this desire attachment is obstacle for the practice meditation. That's why he giving us so much information here. Or the reason is people not easy to let go desire things. So then he giving this information like desire things not make sense. Not important, right? Or it's impermanent. It's not going to stay that long, but then also causes our suffering. So that kind of we have to understand, yeah. Now we go to 21 verses 21. Verses 21. Okay, Avurat, verses 21.
If there is someone who despises me, what pleasure can I have in being praised? And if there is another who praises me, what displeasure can I have in being despised? Well, I don't remember very well this one, but basically what it's saying is that you will always have people see you in a different way. You will always have you will always have people that like you, people that don't like you, and you cannot get upset for either one. You cannot get upset for either one because I don't know which one is true, which one describes you correctly. Only you know, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I think that's basically it. You cannot be upset for, being following what people think about you.
Yeah, childish people, drive you crazy, right?
Yeah, if you let them.
So that's why the Shantideva says some people press you, don't attach to them. Some people, despise you, right? Despise you.
You don't like you.
Yeah, despise you, then don't hatred to them. Long as you have someone press you, they also have despised you too.
Yeah.
Someone despise you, someone press it to you. So that's all the time going on whole worldly things,
And you cannot be following it all the time.
If you follow that, then you lost. So you follow the emotions then. Right? We're talking about when we meditate. So we must be same as the elephant. Do you remember that one? We cannot be the same as the dog. So dog chasing the stone, then the endless stone coming. So elephant not chasing the strong elephant going to cut through where is the stone come from. So we have to cut the root, main point, and stop our attachment and anger. Otherwise, this always play you. Okay, so now we go to David.
Yeah, I was just going to say this brought to mind as Elvira was talking that it almost seems like it goes back to the chapter on enthusiasm where he was describing self-confidence too. Because in order to have, it seems like to have equanimity or to be able to develop that, that self-confidence, not the pride, the good self-confidence is really necessary so you can hold your seat regardless of how the wind is blowing, you know. I don't know, it just came to my mind when she was describing that, so.
Yeah, for me, the key word you mentioned this morning was be neutral.
Right.
Don't let either one of don't let people despising you or the praise impact you. Just be neutral. I really, that was really a key word for me. So thank you.
Yeah. So actually, yeah, that we talked about in the enthusiasm chapter also. This part, you know, we this please is like not going to benefit anything, and dislike also nothing going to harm us, right? So we have to think about that where it's like put in the neutral. No bias, equanimity, meditation. Yes, Thomas, do you have a question?
Oh, earlier you said you had made a great analogy of a prayer flag on top of a mountain, going whichever way the wind blows.
Right.
Yeah, that was a wonderful analogy. Yeah, that's people.
So
It's such a great visual, really. It's such a great visual. You can just see those prayer flags, like.
Whichever wind blows.
Yeah, so all this, you know, different kind of levels practicing Dharma actually reducing the attachment, fixations, you see. That's why we also chant the mantra, or the sound is a mantra, right? That means like you don't, long as you recognize all sound is a mantra, means then you don't have despise or displace you or despise you, it doesn't matter, or it's become mantra. Put into the pure perception, change the sound. Okay, now we go to 22. 22 is who's David? Okay, 22, David.
Okay, Khenpo 22. If even the conqueror was unable to please the various inclinations of different beings, then what need to mention an evil person such as I, before I should give up the intention to associate with the worldly? Yeah, what you mentioned this morning is that Buddha cannot make everybody happy because people have emotions. And at the same time, you mentioned that we should accept the difficult that other people bring to us. And don't allow that situation to affect us. We have to go through this world, we like it or not, we are here to give us, it helps us to give us this opportunity to give us confidence and to be strong. And the word help us to improve ourselves, purify, and recognize that we're going to find problems and reduce the impact of this world, or the words, like you said, that they are like mantra, and give up to worldly activity. You know, if somebody praise us or angry with us, we have to leave that. We should practice Dharma. If not, if we are attached to the worldly things, we're going to suffering. And practice always Dharma.
Thank you.
Okay, Kim.
Okay, everyone good? Yeah.
You mentioned the 8 things to give up. I tried writing them down. Could you say them one more time, please?
It's yeah.
Praise.
The you know, give up the worldly, you know, associated with the worldly. So that give up is 8 things, right?
Right.
So that's practitioners should give up these things, worldly attached desire. Okay, which one you have?
I have praise, displeased, attachment, attached to joy, and then I don't know what the opposite is.
Attached to joy and hatred to the suffering.
Oh, hatred to suffering.
Dislike the suffering.
And then I have attachment to material, and I don't know the other one.
Oh, it's the opposite of the, like, if a gaining is, see the how to say the way this so you know material gaining, gain the material things, or material gain, we create the material gain attached to that. If, like, when you gain the material, you're happy. When you didn't get material gain, you are happy.
Oh, okay.
Or like, although I may have a much material worth, so that one, you know, I may have much material worth happy, and then you lose that unhappy, right?
Yes. Okay.
Mm.
Then hearing pleasant and hearing unpleasant. All right.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, there are things.
Yes.
Okay, so this is, we have to recognize we cannot make everyone happy, right? Long as we have emotions, so always have that going on something. We recognize that. So people despise us, so we have to recognize, oh, I have emotion. This is possible. Even Buddha has 100% enlightening quality, you know, positive qualities, no any negatives, but still the other beings, you know, criticize, despise Buddha. So then we think, oh, of course, for me, I have emotions, that is possible, right? So we have to accept that. Long as you accept that, then there's other people, you know, despise you, criticize you, is like they're not really affected to you. You get more strong. You get strength, you are become stable. Okay, so now we go to the 23. Stand up, please, 23.
They scorn those who have no material gain and say bad things about those who do. How can they who are by nature so hard to get along with ever derive any pleasure from me? This one reminds me of verse 10, you know, where it's like 1 minute you're friends with someone and then you're enemies. Because, you know, in this situation, people like to hang around with you if you know, it suits their purposes, and then when it doesn't, maybe you become enemies, you know. So you know, it's just, it really is just like verse 22. It's just you can't permanently please childish people, or really anyone.
Good. So anyone has any comments? Everyone understand, right? Easy, simple, good instruction. So that's, we see the laws, childish people does these things. And also, especially, we really don't know who is the Dharma practitioner. So Dharma practitioner don't really gain material things, but then the people think is the person is not any special anything. So people don't respect for them. and who has material gained, then people, like them, but after they criticize them again too. The front is talk really nice, behind they criticize. And then who didn't have a material gain, then they don't care about that kind of person. So that is like society always we have these problems. In the monastery has like society everywhere has this problem. So even like we think about it, like, okay, we're going to bring the teacher, like who really bring the money and to gain the material things. Everybody like that one, So who cannot do that, then okay, yeah, it's not important. So we don't follow the Dharma, follow the actually author level laws and worldly, right? Do you understand main point? So all it's like society, everyone follow this way, That's why in Tibet tradition also like really don't know who's the practitioner. They don't gain the material things, and then they don't care about them. So same as Shanti Deva too. Shanti Deva, that time he was at the Nalanda University, they don't care him because they think he's something wrong. He just eat, go sleep, right? And go to restaurant. That's the 3 things it does, but no any other than that. So then he is the same as the scorn those who have no material gain. So he is part of that. See, Malarepa is a part of that too. Wherever the in the society monastery goes, they reject him. So then, and say bad things about those who do. See, then so who has material gains? So then maybe in front they're really nice for them, but after behind they're telling bad things, criticize them too. So that's what worldly people does. That's why Hawking there, who are by nature so hard to get along with, every driver any pleasure from me. So now we go to 24. 24. EDG, please, 24.
24. It has been said by the Tathagatas that one should not befriend the childish because unless they get their own way, these children are never happy. So the key word here, once again, is childish. You want to not be too friendly with those folks. They'll lead you in the wrong direction. That's all I can say.
So long as they are not happy, right? Then like long as you don't, make them their own way, these childish are never happy. So if you don't follow them, same view, same thoughts, then they are not happy, right? So that's Buddha says. Buddha said, so if you think about worldly, these people, it's childish. The reason is if you don't follow their opinions, they don't like you. Okay, so now we go to the 25. 25. Amanda, can you do the 25?
When shall I come to dwell in forest amongst the deer, the birds, and the trees that say nothing unpleasant and are delightful to associate with? This is just such beautiful imagery. So when can we run away from these childish beings to a solitary meditation place in the forest where there are no distractions Nature supports our meditation and does not create the causes for distraction, etc. So this is why these yogis run from home and go to the forest. They are free from suffering, and they get permanent happiness and joy through their Dharma practice. So if you have a situation like this, you have mindful alertness without distractions, and then 24 hours you can practice the Dharma. When you're stuck in worldly activities, then you can only practice a small portion of the day in Dharma practice. And you told us about Milarepa's really beautiful realization songs about this. And Shantideva also didn't stay in the monastery when he gave this teaching. Otherwise, his teachings and his actions would not go together. So he flew away to the forest.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we finished it, right? So
I had a question on this.
yes.
Earlier, we said that that the beginners are looking for, quiet places away from everybody and so forth, solitude and so forth. And advanced practitioners look for cemeteries and harder places for the normal person to meditate within. But everybody feels comfortable, I think, in what we're describing here in 2025. But anyway, my question is, what about the yogis? The yogis go off and spend months, even sometimes years at a time, way off in the middle of, high mountain places. But how would you describe that situation? What is their environment? It's not like being in a cemetery, and it's not, but it is total solitude. So it seems like that would be more benefit, more. So what's the difference between that and the environment for a beginning practitioner, if you will?
So just that generally, the beginner should go to, like remote area, and otherwise we cannot really maintain and practicing Dharma. If long as you are practitioner, then it doesn't matter you are stay in the solitary place or busy place. It's okay, long as then you are more, your mind becomes stable. So then places like doesn't affect you much. So the yogis can stay in the retreat, or they can stay in the city, or wherever they go is okay. They're already saved. Yeah, so the specific actually doesn't matter where they are stay. Generally, the here is talking about the beginners must go to retreat, more solitary place.
Okay.
And the practitioners, doesn't matter where they are. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Then anyone has questions? So which words is the best one for you today? I mean, verses, which verses is good for you today? Like something in your daily life practice, think of in that, and something really like have your problem change. Which is your medicine there? Do you find any medicine specific?
Well, I do, and it's talking about childish people. We're childish people. I'm childish people. It's nice when we look at people like that, but you recognize that. I mean, children are focused on themselves because they have to be. And when you think about childish people, it's everybody.
Right.
It's me. And it's the childish part is that I'm still fixed on the things that are not important. Things of samsara that are not important. It's like I have to grow up that way. So I like talking about childish people because it reminds me that that's me.
I like being reminded about attachment, and I have to work on that a lot, but it's okay. And the other thing I thought was very helpful was the part on praise and not taking it too seriously, which is what I try and do, but it still goes in your head, right? And so it's not to identify with praise, but to just, oh, thank you, and then let it go and continue to see your areas that you need to work on to improve.
Right. Okay, what is the center you think?
The fear one, the attachment leading to fear was a big one. And I'm trying to find it. It's the one where you don't want to argue with people. You don't want to tell them what they don't want to hear because you don't want to make them angry, which would lead them to the lower realms. And you don't want to get angry yourself, which would lead you to the lower realms. I thought that was really amazing. Like,
Oh, about the JT.
I love the verse that's the honeybee going to the flower and just taking the honey. So when we interact with people who could lead us astray, there's still something there for us. There's honey, and we take it away, and it enriches our path and our wisdom and our calm abiding with those people in a gentle way, not getting caught up in their cycle, but that there is still actually something there for us. And it's just such a beautiful metaphor, and we don't destroy the flower. We just take what we need and we move along. I love that.
Yeah. Then also you take the honey from the flower. Flower is become, get more nutritions.
Yeah, it's good for the flower too.
Good for flower too. Okay, so then Thomas, yes, you're laughing.
Oh, Khenpo, I mean, earlier, you said so many wise things today. You had said earlier that a lot of these teachings were for monastics, that, not to be attached to so close to family and relatives and friends, that they bring a lot of suffering and obscurations for you. But you know what? Just in regular life, I mean, it's, so much when we have these attachments, it just, wow, it holds us down tremendously. Tremendously. I mean, it's so easy to think about that and not about practice. I mean, just in a second, just your mind goes there and it stays there, and it's hard to bring it back to the Dharma practice, But
right.
That's why I try to listen to you, listen to his teachings to bring us back, to quickly bring us back on the path, But it's just it's amazing how
even we accept this teaching is amazing too.
Yeah, it is.
Because we so strongly, mind is a fixation already in these worldly things. So no, we hearing these teachings, or we recognize, or actually problem there, we hearing, accepting, that's also amazing.
Yeah, and then when you tell us that, and then we would look at it, we really seriously look at it, it's like, wow, how true that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, this more focus for this, especially in this chapter, is for monastics, but it's good for the householders. So householders are really too strong fixation to the relatives and the family, and then actually they create the causes of suffering each other, not really benefiting each other. So you learn this and meditate, then you become, really aware of what going on there. So usually you make yourself no any space for breathing. So, so you learn this whole thing, and then you can breathe. Okay, so I have this family, but I know how to do taking care of this. Like, good way,
That balancing act is very difficult. balancing the family and practice life, very difficult. So yeah, that's why when I'm here practicing, you don't hear no noise. I have 5 boys. 5 boys. I have to get another house to use just for practice. My family is in a different house. I come to this house to practice because it's just me. Yeah, by doing that, I try to balance. Really, it's hard, but when I come here, this is my solitude. This is where I can practice. This is where I can listen and contemplate and try to go back and with some wisdom. Thank you so much, Khenpo.
You're welcome. So when you go back there, it's like become whatever that is. You don't really pay attention to them, right?
No, I try not to. I really don't. I'm like,
you cannot do that, or you should do this. Mother like always communicate, fighting all the time. My mother is suffering.
Oh,
So you
yeah.
don't create that, right?
but she loves it. Oh, she loves her 5 boys. Oh, she does.
Mother loves sons, boys. So that's
she does.
reality. Father loves the girls, daughters. So that's the reality, like that way,
It's absolutely true, Khenpo. Yeah.
So anyway, so usually when for sons and the mother is hard because the father and the son didn't go along together. So where has like more daughters and then father is suffering, mother and the daughters didn't go along together. So I think that's good for you, and you study this way of a Buddhist, or you go back to, not communicate with your sons, then that good for your mother, the mother.
Oh yeah, and that's what that's when I come here, like I said, this is my solitary place. This is where I can do all my thinking, all my meditation, everything else. Nice and quiet.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, so then anyone has a question?
I have a comment.
Yeah.
And what this is doing for me is it's bringing up many key points. There's many opposites. Now I'm more able to look at a particular situation, and I look at how it's really affecting me. And of course, a lot of things, I know what the end result would be if I continue with that, with the obscurations. But the key point is maintaining the stability. That's all I can say.
Yes. Mind is stable. Confident, right? Also confident, stable with confident.
I'm working on self-confidence.
Positive, confident. We have the 2 things, right? Confident, negative, and positive. So we have to create a positive, confident, really knows, understanding what we're doing, not relying on others.
Yes.
You can do, you can help for others.
I'm still driving.
Be confident.
Thank you.
Yeah. So then, Amanda, you like the 25, yeah?
Yes, very much so. Yeah, they're all, every verse is medicine for me, most definitely. Medicine that I definitely need to take. But yes, 25 is just so beautiful. Yes.
Okay, so that means you like to go to forest.
I do. I love
Nature.
I've thought many times that one of the best gifts I could give my son and myself is to have a little retreat place in the forest. So maybe one day.
Okay.
Khenpo,
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
It's okay. It seems to me it's so separation. about the practice and this worldly thing. And I remember a symbol about lotus flower have to go from the muddy palm. So if a bodhisattva practice without the samsara being, without anything, what is he practice about? Why we are wanting to liberation because of the suffering. But without the suffering, how can we liberate from? So to me, it seems very separation, this teaching about that. You have to avoid this and go to that. You have to not doing this and going that. It's not about the worldly thing or the spiritual part. It's almost the spiritual part in some way is in this phenomenal world. So we have to practice in this phenomenal world. If your fight make you really upset, then you realize I'm upset. Otherwise, what are you practicing about?
So, this morning I told that this is like Shantideva more focused for beginners. Actually, we have to control ourselves. If we don't control ourselves, then we are loser and others loser too. We create other beings loser too. So this really protecting us, protector for others.
But others, if we want to control ourselves, do I need to know that sometimes I lost control, so I need to control myself? If I never in a situation to lose control, how do I know that I need to control myself?
So see, if we recognize, someone press to you, you so attached to that, then you lose your control, right? Someone telling you harsh word, you upset, then you lose your control, right?
Yes.
And so that is we recognize, we lose, like then also we see that we are so strongly attached to these worldly things, and then not really motivation to practice the Dharma. So that's also we recognize we are loser. And
but the problem is,
we have
I feel that
arising, like attachment and anger, these two things going on all the time. So that's the reason, like we recognize where is this attachment is like best on, where is the anger is best on, where is these two come from, right? So attachment is more like actually arise from our loved ones. Hatred is like come from others, So that's why we have to bring is like equanimity, meditate, practice equanimity. Long as you bring equanimity, then your mind is, have more, how to say, the flexible or understanding the situation. So you have a no bias become. Then you can like release attachment. You can release anger. So this means like we're not talking about we don't care others. We really care others, but we really use the like self-protection and others' protection first. If someone is sinking in the river, so you don't know how to swim, you jump there and then you also die together, right? Yeah, so if we are in sinking in the river, someone jumping to save us, they also die together us. So then both are loser, no one is get benefit. So Shantideva, the main point is, he said, don't do that. First, you learn how to swim, take care.
But you have to jump to the water to learn swimming. You cannot.
First, not release others. First you have to practice that. That's why you have to do these things. Practice first. This is you're learning your swimming.
But in the water, not leaving the water to learn swimming, isn't it?
Yeah, but then these things, like see, you have to follow these instructions. That is like you learning. Become you are strong. You understanding.
You don't learn to swim in a raging river. You learn to swim in a small pool where it's safe. So if you learn
That's
where it's
true.
safe, then
So,
you can challenge yourself.
but you cannot leave the water and say that I'm learning to swimming to save other people. You still have to stay in a small pool with the water. So you cannot just say, oh, those are samsara. I'm not going to touch it and I live there. I can't do that, isn't it? Samsara is the swimming pool.
Yeah, I understand that you means like, just like, okay, leave these childish people. I'm not going to be with them, So I'm going to go to my way direction. So actually, if you don't do that way, then you cannot save others. Yeah.
It's like going up the stairs. Like you go to the first step and then there's a little bit of you put yourself in a place where you just go up the first step and there's a little bit of samsara. You avoid the really dangerous at the top and then you go up the next step and then the next one and the next one so that you can tolerate more. And then you, like the song Stairway to Heaven, like you reach it eventually, but you have to go step by step by step.
Yeah, I understand that step by step, but also I don't understand one thing is about the childish people. We are all childish people.
So do this way, Lami. So when you're going to, like, example, land the dove, right?
Yes.
When you take the dove, you don't go to in the traffic place where is people there. You have to go away from the public.
Yes.
So if you're going into with the public, so you can create like accidents yourself and others, like no good, right? So you must go to like somewhere no people there. Then you land very good dive, then you can go to in the public place. It's okay. Then you no harm for others. Then you no harm yourself. You don't practice diving. Diving is like in the public place, right? In the busy state.
No.
Okay.
Parking lot.
So then all that, if you go there, then childish people each other, hit each other. So that's why we have to learn is somewhere like no people. So that means like you not thinking about not caring for others. You really protecting others. Protecting. Yeah. Actually, you really care about others. That's why you not be in the state. On the road, busy place.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Lamin, then.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So now everyone good, yeah? Then we can do dedication.
One thing occurred to me, Khenpo. He mentions a few times about after death. And it just occurred to me that if a person had some understanding of the bardo, of what occurs after death, it would give a little bit more light to what he means after death and not being able to make use of worldly gains. It'd give it more perspective. So that's just a comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so then we do the dedication, yeah? Marilyn, can you share the dedication? David, Avura, please chant the dedication prayer.
Yes, Khenpo.
Emaho. In the center is the marvelous Buddha Amitabha of boundless light. On the right side is the Lord of great compassion. And on the left is Prajapani, the Lord of powerful means. All are surrounded by limitless Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Immeasurable peace and happiness is the blissful pure land of the Washen. When I and all beings pass from samsara, may we be born there without taking samsaric rebirth. May I have the blessing of meeting Amitabha face to face. By the power of the blessings of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas.
I lost the screen. I'm sorry, I lost the screen. I don't have it in my.
Now.
May I have the blessing of meeting Amitabha face to face. By the power of the blessings of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions, may we attain this aspiration without hindrance. Teata, Pensadrilla, Agua, Boda, Naya, Soha. Bodhicitta, the excellent and precious mind, where it is unborn, may not arise. May it arise, where it is born, may not decline, but ever increase higher and higher.
It's getting.
Is everyone having the same problem? I can't see the. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, I just wanted to be sure. By this virtue, may I achieve omniscience. By defeating all enemies, confusion. May all who travel on the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death cross the ocean of samsara. As Manjushri, the warrior, realized the ultimate state, and as did Samantabhadra, I will follow in their path and fully dedicate all the merit for all sentient beings. May the teachings of the great Rigumpa Ratnashi, who is omniscient, Lord of the Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of samsara. Sorry.
No, there's something funny going on with Zoom today.
No worries, no worries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Khenpo.
Thank you, Khenpo.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lyman, for your question. Keep us thinking.
Yes, Lamin, your question is really great. Who are dumb?
I don't know. There we go. Okay, I'm going to dissolve everyone.
Yes, bye.
Bye tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
If my computer will
Take
work.
care.